Rider. Difficult times indeed.
Now, Whitlam, through his 3 years, he would crack a cracking pace.
Cacophony and commotion came with the times.
Can you imagine Malcolm Fraser over on these benches peppering the Whitlam government?
Younger visitors to our Parliament of 61 years can only imagine the merciless intensity of politics in the 1970s.
The Whitlam government got to the point where the dismissal happened.
The Governor-General dismissed Mr Whitlam. What a day it's been in Canberra.
Well, may we say...
The 21st Prime Minister, elected almost 3 years earlier, had made good on promises of change. But by early 1975, his government, beset by mistakes and ministerial scandal, hit a wall in the Senate.
We were going through a crisis. The real fear was that we'd run out of money.
Ken Begg was the ABC's political correspondent, documenting a crippling impasse. The coalition-controlled Senate refused to pass essential budget spending bills.
It will end as soon as the Senate stops this nonsense.
If it dragged on, no money meant no welfare payments, no wages for public servants, a government shutdown. On the 11th of November, 2 leaders would visit the Governor-General, Sir John Kerr. Gough Whitlam returned, sacked. Malcolm Fraser installed as the new caretaker Prime Minister.
The actions of John Kerr were utterly inappropriate, unprincipled, disingenuous, deceitful.
I'm not sure what other alternative he possibly had. The lesson from 1975 is the system worked.
This is where all the key events happened on that day. Sir John Kerr, he will have what?
Sir John sat in that chair. We think that is the chair that he sat in.
As Governor-General, Sam Mostyn believes the crisis mostly happened because the Whitlam-Kerr relationship disintegrated.
Both of them, they didn't trust one another. That's the essence of this.
The 28th occupant of the office is unsparing in her condemnation of Kerr for his consistent letter writing to the Queen's staff, known as the Palace Letters.
In my world, I would not be corresponding in that way. There is no sense that I would seek that support or information or guidance from the King.
You can depend on Malcolm Fraser. You can depend on Malcolm Fraser.
Malcolm Fraser went on to win an election a month later. A crestfallen Gough Whitlam left the lodge and his office. For the first time, trusted staffer Richard Whittington has told of insiders' fears at the time that the dismissal might have been plotted externally.
There was a strong sense that there was some foreign interference and that there were documents and records that needed to be protected.
Claims that democracy died by degrees that day didn't really hold up. Even so, observers maintain the crisis remains instructive.
At this time, democracy is under challenge around the world. Democracy matters.
1975 was first and foremost a political crisis. Rightly or wrongly, Sir John Kerr intervened because, at least in his mind, politicians had reached complete intransigence. Since then, parties have never pushed it to such limits. The event permanently marked as a jagged shoal to be avoided. But then again, history's all about repetition of the unthinkable, and no one can definitively say it would never happen again. Greg Jennett, ABC News, Canberra.